YouTube. All right. And one more thing I want to do in Skype is record our video. There we go. Woohoo! All right. Now we're all set. Okay. Sound is a go. We are ready. Okay. Now to do an official intro.
Yeah, do that.
You are listening to Musician Today, regional podcast with Flamenco. Tune in for your insight into a professional musician's life and awesome new music.
Woohoo! All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Musician Today podcast, where we bring you the most amazing artists from around the world, tell you their stories, and share their awesome music with you. So, today with us, we have Angie, who's an accomplished electric violinist, and she makes awesome music, coming into us today all the way from France. So, Angie is an accomplished artist who navigates perfectly between classical pop, rock, deep house electro styles with her several violins. Dressedin Haute Couture, Angie performs on her LED violins. Her repertoire goes from remixed classical to Gipsy and Rock Symphonic music, Vivaldi, Beethoven, Bach, Michael Jackson, Coldplay, Nirvana, and the list goes on. Angie offers a dynamic and fascinating performances of electronic music, dance house, deep house, and French electro. Dressed with leather or optical fiber clothing, the sexy violinist will electrify the dance floor and improvise on the greatest hits of today's like Daft, Punk, David Guetta, Calvin Harris, Avicii, Kavinsky, Rihanna, Beyonce, anything that you desire. Angie's most amazing feature is her unique and spectacular laser show, in which she gives an outstanding one-of-a-kind performance. You can find her on her website at angieviolin.com, Facebook /Angie Violin 1, YouTube, and find her by Angie Violinist. You can't miss it on Twitter and Angie Violin, and of course on Instagram. How come I did not write an Instagram? Angie Violinist. Find her there and you can't miss it. She's got an amazing look and the most amazing performance, and she's also the sweetest person. So hi Angie, how are you today?
Hi Vera, thank you for this nice intro. I'm so happy to be there. Thank you for inviting me. Sorry, my French accent.
Oh, it's beautiful. We love it. We love it. Yeah. So you told me quite a bit of a story about how you began playing violin, how you started music. So would you like to share that story with us here?
Of course, yes. It's a nice story. I like it because I really choose my instrument when I was a little girl. I was 5 years old, and I was visiting a church in Italy with my family. And there is no musician in my family at all, but they like music. So we were going to concert and listen to music, but they were not playing music. And there was like a violinist playing in front of the church, and I was 5 years old, and I was seeing the violinist and stayed to look the violinist because it was so beautiful. And my family went into the church and forgot about me, and they come back 5 minutes later, super scared because they thought they lose me. But and I was still in front of the violinist, so I took the hand of my mom and I said, "Yes, mom, I want to play violin." So it was a really little girl decision, and I never regretted it since. So I'm really glad.
That's amazing. Thank you. I totally relate to that. When I saw my teacher play violin, that's when I fell in love with it, and I was 7. So high five. That's awesome. So what would you say has shaped your style over the years? You began exploring different styles of music beyond classical and picking up electric violin. So what influenced you the most?
Well, first, of course, classical, your violinist, for the violin is necessary. It's mandatory to do classical music, even if you don't like classical music. For me, it's really important, But I really understood that there was a lot of different type of music. I had a teacher who played a lot of Russian music, from the East, like folkloric music, and I loved this moment, with my teacher, and when we were playing this music, because it's really come from the heart, and it's really deep. And I started like to play this music, and after I discovered like Latin music also, and I was like, you can do violin everywhere, so it's pretty cool, So I was growing with my classical music, but always in my head, I was like, this is not what I want to do. This is not only what I want to do. I want to have fun with my violin and discover other type of music. So naturally, you discover pop and rock and pop rock music and electronic music and deep house music and this kind of music where you can realize that the violin is possible everywhere and it's so fun. So that's why with the rock music, it's really, really good because it's really complicated for the violin because, it's played for guitar and the virtuose, it's a word, yes, virtuose guitarist.
Yeah.
And so for the violin, it's really interesting to play rock music, and so that's why I like to play rock music too.
Well, we love it. We love to hear your stuff. So we will begin with an interesting cover of Game of Thrones that is actually sounding very metal.
Yeah.
So why do we have a listen? So I personally love this one because my whole album was based on the Game of Thrones. So this is just strikes the chord. So here we go. Here we go, guys.
Here we go.
That was probably the best cover I've heard of this on the violin so far. No offense, everyone's are great, but I love it because it's new to me.
I'm really flattered. It's really nice to say that. This song. It's like a song. I always wonder. Should I better do the original type of song? But I think it's pretty cool to do that. And the solo at the it's like it was really hard to play. It's a song. Game of Thrones is like when I started to work this song. I don't know if you felt the same. And I felt it was really easy to play, it's simple, it's like a few notes, and I start playing, it's like, no, it's really more complicated than it seems. And, because of the groove, and it's not easy, it's not like naturally sounds right. And I'm rocking right now the song of The Last of the Mohican, the song of the violin. And it's the same to me, like, really easy, like, it's always the same. And I'm really like, no, it's not that easy at all. So I like this kind of songs.
Yeah, it's really creative. I love that. We were actually just discussing that with my producer for another project we're working on. That's when you're doing a cover, it has to be turned into something else, and it has to become your own piece, right? So you have to change it. You have to do something different with it, because there's no point of doing it the same way, right? We have to explore a little bit more creative potential there. Awesome. So when did you begin to explore electric violin, actually? And what has your current instrument done for your sound?
Can you repeat the question?
So when did you begin exploring the electric violin, and how did you come in contact with it? So,
you tell when I begin to play electronic violin?
Yes.
Okay.
No worries.
Well, I started with the electric violin like 7 years ago, because I was working with a French rapper, and I started working in pop groups. So it came up naturally because first because of the acoustic violins problems when you play in groups. Because when we play in groups, when you have the return, the big when you have the spot of the sound.
Yes.
And a micro like a DPA.
Yes.
on your acoustic violin. You can do Larsen. Larsen is the name in English. Yes. So it's really complicated and it's fragile. So you are in playing in parties, and so you are doing your best and you're really energetic music and everybody's dancing. So you don't want to bring your acoustic violin, which is fragile, like a grass or a glass or something. So that's at the beginning it was first for a practical thing. So I took the electric violin. At the beginning it was really difficult for me because the wood violin, the acoustic violin in wood, has vibration. So when you play good, when your note is good, the violin will vibrate as the good vibration, and you can feel it in your hand and in your neck because it's exactly. So without that, in the electric violin, I lost my I lost all my cues. So I was really lost, and I started to play like faults. So I had to relearn to play with my head and like a guitar to calculate the movement and not just feel it. And really soon I started to discover the Mach wood violins. But it's strange because I'm French and there was not a lot, in the stores. But there's not a lot of electric violin in the stores. But I think I found it on internet, and it's pretty cool, this violin. I think you know Mark. It's really cool, this violin, because Mark is like a rock musician, like really deep rock. So he was thinking like, it's a shame because all the electric violins sounds really high, and really thin. I think he was thinking like, it could be cool if my violin could have the same like deep sound of an electric guitar or bass or something, so I can fit in a rock band. And that's why it's pretty cool, because you can really feel it in the Barbara pickup in the violins, macro violins. You can really feel like the deep sound in the violin. So it's pretty cool because also on the high notes you have deep. I don't know if I'm clear, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, you have depth. You definitely have depth and volume there. Yeah.
Sorry. So so it was really easier for me to play to play electric violin, and now I can really have fun with it. And I developed a really different kind of way to play the violin with my electric violin and with my acoustic violin. So it's pretty cool.
That's amazing. Why don't we hear another electric cover? So this is themed on Vivaldi, I believe, right? Electro State.
Exactly.
Yay! Here we go, guys. Enjoy. Ooh, wow. I love it how very alike we think. So I did a cover of this years ago at a Persian Beauty Awards show, and I didn't have an engineer at the time, so it was kind of a homemade recording by me. But I love those storm effects. I was trying to get those, and I love how you put them in there. They're just amazing. So my next question would be, do you produce the music yourself? Do you have somebody who works with you on producing the track, like recording, mastering, editing?
Yeah, of course. I always ask some professional to help me with that, because I'm not I'm not capable to do the mastering and the mixer, even the it's mix, mastering, recording, all of that. It's not like, when I start to the electric violin, the first thing is like I had to understand how jack works. So for me, it's like just stop there. I don't understand. I had to learn, but I'm not really like into. I start a little because when you arrive on stage for a live show and you are alone, I travel alone when I travel, and so I have to arrive and I have to be able to tell what I need and what is good and what is bad and why it is bad, and so how can we fix it. So I had to learn a little, but it's still complicated to me.
Well, that makes absolute sense. I work with a producer as well who does all of that for me. Even though I'd love to have a studio, but it's like it takes on a whole other career just to learn how to do that. So yeah, I really appreciate the people that I'm working with. And it sounds amazing though. So do you meet with your engineer and do you like decide what you're gonna do for this track or for this track? Like what drums you, what style you do it in? Yeah.
Well, yes, of course, we meet, and of course, I'm like now in creation of a new album.
Nice. Okay.
And we meet all the time, so it's like, yes, it's a teamwork, of course, because we have to decide what is good, what is not good, what is like, what can you really feel. So no, of course, but I also really trust the people which are working, because they know the job too. So for me, it's really important to not think. Sometimes I arrive and I arrive in my producer studio, and I say like, I have the best idea, the sound, and I and it's like, no, like, no, and I will explain to you why, but no, it's not possible, it's not good, and I trust them in that because they know their job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. That's great. That sounds very familiar to me. Same thing's going on here. So yeah, it's interesting how these instruments give us so much opportunity for more sound potential, but also make you learn so much, right? And make you grow into like a whole new artist. And that's amazing that growth happens. Yeah. Awesome. So I would like to play one more song and then we can do a little something special. All right. So why don't we listen to Smooth Criminal?
Oh yeah, I
I
love
love this one. I love how you did these solos in there. Oh, it's amazing. Okay, guys, just listen. Here we go. Smooth Criminal.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was nice. I love how the entries, the violin entries were so different right? From the original, and it makes sense. And we're getting some love on Facebook here. Thanks, guys. So thank you. That was awesome. Now my next question would be, what was the most memorable performance you did, like, and why? Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay,
So far, I know the best one's still coming up.
yeah. Well, I have a lot of like great performance, but I have to memorize. If I have to just now think first when I play with the rap singer. We once played in a 10,000 stage, 10,000 people, and I was like really young in the business, and it was the first time like I saw all these people, and I was really impressed by all the people. So this was pretty cool. Also, I have to say, like, I played for a lot of brands. In my job is to play for the brands, and sometimes you see like really crazy stuff, because there are like luxury brands. When you play for Lexus, for example, they put me on a system which elevated me, and I was a dress who lights on in color, and there was like 500 people lights on in the same color, and there was the car was raised up. So it's like crazy stuff. I'm so glad to do that, because you have the opportunity to see a lot of people. Also, I had the chance to play next to Snoop Dogg once. There, yeah.
Nice.
A rock musician, but it's like pretty cool. So like I don't have like one, but I think like regularly in my job I look at like myself, like up, and I say, you're so lucky. I look at all this stuff and I say, wow, you're so lucky, because it's so fun and there is so many things. And you are with your violin and you can just play. It's so cool. So
yeah,
that's why lot of memorable stages.
Amazing. Well, not only you're lucky, you also work hard for it, so we appreciate it.
Yeah.
And now, actually, what I would like to do is sort of like a little rapid fire game. So I'm going to start a timer. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to read the first question. And in this game, if you've seen my previous shows, is that we try to make it in under a minute. Okay?
Okay.
Are you ready? Are you up for it? Yeah?
Yes.
It doesn't have to be perfect. It could be like the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay. No worries. Okay, so here we go. Questions are ready. And here's the countdown. You won't hear the countdown, but I'll let you know when we're starting. 3, 2, 1. What was your most memorable performance?
Well, Qatar.
All right. At what age did you pick up violin?
5.
All right. What are the names of your pets?
I don't.
Okay. Violin, acoustic or electric?
Sorry?
Violin, acoustic or electric?
Oh no, don't do that to me. No.
Both is fine. Both is fine. What motivates you?
Pass the question.
What motivates you? What keeps you going?
Well, the joy.
All right. Which YouTuber you can't stop watching? Who's your favorite?
My favorite what?
YouTuber. YouTube star.
Well, I will say Lindsay Sterling.
Okay. What are your favorite songs to cover? Three favorite songs to cover.
Okay, so I will take Crystallize of Lindsay Sterling. I will say Asturias of Violinist. I think it's pretty good. And I will finish in The Last of the Mohicans.
Amazing. We're out of time, but we can still finish the questions. Why not? We have like 3 left. That's okay. Name 3 people you admire.
In violin or in life?
Generally, yeah. Anyone.
Anna or no?
It could be anyone. Could be anyone.
Okay. No, I will stick in violin. I will say like to repeat myself, but Mark Wood, Lindsay Sterling, and I like a lot Taylor Davis. I think she's doing a really great job.
Yeah, that's great. She was on the show.
Oh,
Yeah. She was amazing. Yeah. Name 3 artists you follow on Instagram.
well, Cardi B, because I love when she starts talking.
Yeah, she's pretty fun.
Yeah, I would say like Alec Baldwin recently because like okay, it's fine, it's nice. And I have a lot of shame to tell that, but I love to follow the Kardashian family.
Oh, why not? Why not? That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you for your openness. This was amazing. Okay. I think we're pretty much done. The other question was dogs or cats. Are you a cat person or a dog person? Like if you had a pet.
Definitely dog.
Dog, yeah, me too. High five. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. I think we've learned a lot, and I love it how this kind of keeps things going a little, so you don't overthink your answer, and it just becomes a little bit more genuine. So, like artists, we generally tend to think a lot, right? And sometimes this process could be sort of crippling in our growth. So, if you're building something, I have someone who's mentored me, and they always say, done is better than perfect. So what's your perspective on getting projects done, organizing your time? Is there any advice can you give to another artist, younger artist perhaps, like sort of like yourself, but a few years ago? What would be the epic advice that you would give yourself in sort of achieving your career goals today?
Well, I will say I love your phrase "done is better than perfect" because it's really like an actual problem in like the internet because we are all on YouTube and stuff and we have to post some video and we have to listen again and again and again and it's never perfect to our ear and our eyes and it's really hard to. I have a lot of colleagues or friends who are like. Really, and me too. We are really afraid to do the thing and to finish and to show it to the world because we're not like, no, it's not quite good. But you have to because it's because it will never be perfect and because it is good. Yes, it is good because it's you, and after you will be growing and it will be different, Mm-hmm. So this is a really good advice. Well, I think. It's really like old school advice, but I think like you have to work your instrument. And I will say like one word, it will be scales.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like no, it's really and you have to be sincere because you have to be sincere in what you do, but it's not all the wanted to do something is if you have to work. Because I know that because I came from like for me one of the most difficult instruments and I work and it's always working and I work with dancers and singers and and even all of the you always when as an artist work a lot. You have the image of an artist who's not working, it's like on stage and it's fun. It's really fun. It's like so much work and every day and you have to keep that in mind. Like you work a lot more than the people who work in the office. So it's that you have to just work your instrument.
Yeah, that's amazing. I completely agree. It is work. And often people look at it and they see, oh, you're having so much fun, but they don't see the behind scenes that you're doing a lot of work. That's true. And yeah, I play my scales too. And I also like sort of like modern techniques incorporated into them. So instead of just a scale, create an awesome pattern. Like maybe it's a metal riff that you're taking up 5 octaves and going through the entire overtone series with it. So something fun like that you can do. Like the scales don't have to be boring. Every time I teach my students too, I'm like, play with rhythm. Play with pitch, play with everything, right? Have fun with it. It's supposed to be enjoyable.
Exactly.
That's amazing. So, Angie, we're so excited for your new album. And guys, don't miss it. Check it out on Angie's website, angieviolin.com. Is that where it's coming? Going to be
Yeah,
released
yeah,
on your website? Excellent. On
yeah.
Facebook, Angie Violin 1 on YouTube. Find her by Angie Violin. Find her videos. She's got amazing videos of all these songs that we heard today. Then find her on Twitter, Angie Violin. Find her on Instagram, Angie Violin. So don't miss it. It's awesome. And when do you plan to release it? Just so we have a general idea when we should expect it.
My new album?
Yeah.
Well, I will say, well, I hope at the end of 2020.
All right. Right
Yeah.
on. Maybe we can have you back on the show then, so you can do like an introduction
Yeah.
for us.
Of
Yeah.
course.
That'd
Be
be
glad.
amazing. Yeah. So write me a
Yeah.
message when you're ready. We'll love to have you back. And
Okay.
meanwhile, I know that a lot of artists are participating in sort of like projects and releasing music that is to uplift everyone's spirit during this weird isolation period that is so unusual to us because we're used to always being with people and entertaining people. So how would you say you're coping? How are you doing during this time?
The time of this time now?
Yeah, the quarantine.
Well,
What do you do to keep? Yes.
Sorry?
What do you do to sort of keep your music career going? What do you do to sort of have a sense of normality in your life as a musician?
Well, this period is like, for me, yes, I was a lot scared at first. I was like, oh my God, my career, but now I'm like more quiet in that because it's like so unique what we are living now. Then there are so much things really important, and my family is really important to me. So I was love with them, and I think it will come normal again. So I'm not so worried. I know, like, for example, for France, we don't have like music until mid of July, and it will start again. So I'm not worried.
That's true. I think it's just a stage in our lives to sort of reevaluate what we do and find another way of, developing your career, being creative, maybe catching up on some old projects. So, yeah. So I appreciate you being here today. We all appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming to the show. Love your music. Love your, life perspective. Love to follow you. And stay tuned, guys. We're going to come back with the album release. Meanwhile, to say goodbye, we're going to play Master of Puppets. So thank you, Angie. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye.
Thank you.